Hello, everybody. This is Brian Real, and I just have some breaking news that I wanted to bring to your attention today. There is a new faction released, an official faction by Fantasy Flight in the new Codex 3 that was just released. You'll have to pardon my voice. I am sick today, so my apologies about that. Okay. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to go over this new faction with everyone here. So I've only briefly glanced over it. I really haven't gone through the details yet. So let me just share my screen here and find it. Okay, so hopefully y'all can see this here. I can't see any, I don't know if there's anybody watching anyway, but yeah, I can't see any comments if anybody's trying to type in there. So there's a bunch of stuff like changes to cards and abilities. I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm interested in this for reasons that will be clear if you follow along with our play sessions. We've been playing kind of a homebrew version of Embers of the Imperium, which isn't actually out yet, so we had to like cobble together our own version. But this is based on the same premise that it's the Council Keleres. So these are the agents that have been put together by the Galactic Council to protect the galaxy. And so it's a new faction you can now play. So they put the cards and everything in here. So I just want to go over them with you. So let's take a look at our agent, Xander Alexin Victory III. At any time, you may exhaust this card to allow any player to spend commodities as if they were trade goods. So I think that's pretty useful at the beginning of the game, especially like the first round, you know, where you often get commodities, but you have nobody adjacent to trade with. So you know, if a trade gets flipped off and somebody lets you fill up your commodities, you can still make some money on that, or you can do it for somebody else for a favor or something. Okay, now Sufian, so she's actually one of the Mentak. She's made it on to the council. So, and actually, what's funny about that is even in my, and it hasn't come up in my game that I'm running, but I had that planned already that she was going to be part of the government body for the Mentak. So after you perform a component action, you may perform an additional action. That's pretty powerful. All right, so that's the agent and commander. I don't see hero. Let's see if that comes up later. All right, faction technology, agency supply network. Whenever you resolve one of your production abilities, you may resolve an additional one of your production abilities in any system. The additional use does not trigger this ability. And this is a 2 yellow. I can't think offhand what they start with. What's their? Oh, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't got there yet. Sorry, I'm very tired and sick. Yeah, we haven't looked at their actual starting text yet. So, all right, that looks pretty good though. IIHQ modernization. Your neighbors with all players that have units or control planets in or adjacent to the Mechatol Rex system. Oh, gain the Custodia Vigilia planet card and its legendary planet ability card. You cannot lose these cards, and this card cannot have an X or Y assimilator token placed on it. Okay, so that's a new feature for them. I don't know what that is yet. Their mech is the Omniopieres, however you say that. Other players must spend 1 influence to commit ground forces to the planet that contain this unit. I'd say mediocre. A minor annoyance. All right. Oh, heroes. Oh, they got multiple. They got the Tribuni. So the Tribuni are the 3 leaders of the galactic of the Keleres. So they're in my game in the first episode. Well, I guess session 0 they met them. We had an X-Jaw in there too. I'm kind of just looking at how similar what I came up with is to the official releases. So I did have an X-Jaw on the team. I had, I can't tell if if this lady Harka leads, Irwin's Covenant is, no, she's not Letnev, doesn't look like. Kind of looks like it, but I don't know. If she is, I also had a Letnev on there. And then I also had a Hakan. But anyways, so 3 heroes. So Overwing Zeta, at the start of a round of space combat in a system that contains a planet you control, place your flagship and up to a total of 2 cruisers and or destroyers from your reinforcements in the active system. Then purge this card. So I feel like it's a little bit weaker than a lot of the other heroes, but again, you have 3 of them, so probably 3 weaker ones as opposed to 1 really big one. Operation Archon by Odlin Mir, the Xcha. After an agenda is revealed, you may cast up to 6 additional votes on this agenda. Predict aloud an outcome of this agenda. For each player that votes for another outcome, gain 1 trade good and 1 command token. Then purge this card. So again, for a hero, not a super powerful ability, but again, you've got 3 very versatile. I think versatility seems to be a focus here. Oh, that's a planet. I'm excited to see what that is. Irwin's Covenant, Harka leads. The Winds of Change. Action. Reveal cards from the action cards deck until you reveal 3 action cards that have a component action. Draw those cards and shuffle the rest back into the action card deck. Then purge this card. And didn't we just have our agent? No, our hero lets you perform an additional action on, not a hero, or commander. Lets you perform an additional action on top of your component action. So that's some good synergy going there. All right, nice. Okay, I want to take a look. So they start with their own custom, not custom, legendary planet. The Custodia, Vigilia, and Promissory Note. So while you control Mechatol Rex, it gains Space Cannon 5 and Production 3. Gain 2 command tokens when another player scores VP using Imperial. Oh, nice. Okay. So this is clear. Okay. And there's the planet itself, a 2/3. I'm going to read the flavor text. The Custodia Vigilia. Custodia Vigilia, the fully realized seat of the Keleres. A veritable fortress in the heart of Mechatol City. 10,000 people come and go daily, and the Keleres see them all. I don't have that. I have my Keleres headquarters near the Galactic Council in what I call the Eye of Mechatol. Now I can modify maybe that a little bit. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have on this channel a role-playing game that we've been basing on the we did the Ashes of Power module back in like October and recorded that. And then we just started our own adventure, but we had to cobble the rules together out of the Genesis system and the Star Wars system. All right, let's take a look at their promissory note. Keleres Rider. You cannot vote on this agenda. Predict aloud an outcome of this agenda. If your prediction is correct, draw 1 action card and gain 2 great trade goods. Then return this card to the Keleres player. So again, the promissory notes aren't something that you're using. They're something you're giving out for someone else to use. And I would say that's, as far as promissory notes, it's not bad. It's middling, I think. Now, this is what I'm really interested to see is the faction sheet, the Council Keleres. Okay, so let's start with their flagship here. Other players must spend 2 influence to activate the system that contains this ship. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it's similar to the mech, but a little bit more influence that has to be spent. I mean, again, it's not, I don't know if it's enough to be a massive deterrent, but what I think this might do is later in rounds, as people have used up their planets for production and stuff like that, might make it quite a hindrance. Of course, people can also spend trade goods for that. So, looking at its combat and movement and everything, it's good capacity 6. Combat's okay. A middling flagship, not their focus, I think. Other than that, it looks like all the ships are the normal default ships. Let's take a look at their ability. The Tribuni. During setup, choose an unplayed faction from among the Mentak, the Xcha, and the Argent Flight, which in this are the 3 that represent the Tribuni. And looking at that, so that one girl was Mentak. Okay. So I would guess like maybe a half human, half Letnev type of thing. We actually have a Mentak Letnev in our game pockets. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. During setup, choose an unplayed faction from among the Mentak, the Xcha, and the Argent Flight. Take that faction's home system, command tokens, and control markers. Additionally, take the Keleres here. Oh! Okay, so I was totally wrong. You don't get 3 heroes. You're taking one of those 3 factions and using their home system and their hero. So basically, the Keleres are focusing on one of the Tribuni. So I guess they just have middling heroes compared to the others. But that's kind of neat. The only problem I can see with that is potentially what do you do if all 3 of those have already been selected? And it doesn't really give maybe at the end it'll have a note on that. Doesn't really say right here what you do if those 3 are already taken. All right, council patronage. Replenish your commodities at the start of the strategy phase, then gain 1 trade good. Oh, that's pretty neat. And okay, and this is the agent that can actually make commodities into trade goods. So you're basically just well funded. You're all just constantly getting income. Laws order. You may spend 1 influence at the start of your turn to treat all laws as blank until the end of your turn, so you can ignore laws that you don't like. That's pretty neat. Actually, I think this is interesting. I don't see this being super powerful. The low commodities limit, I guess that doesn't synergize well with their ability, but it probably balances it, so it's not too powerful. But I don't know. I think these guys look kind of fun. Not super powerful, though. Okay. I'm not going to read this whole entire card. I probably will after this. I'm not going to read it all on here. But this is something I can use in my game. All right, so starting technology. Choose 2 non-faction technologies owned by other players. Oh, so obviously you do that once everybody's selected. That's pretty cool, as long as you don't take the faction ones, but all right. Okay, starting units, 2 infantry, 2 carriers, 2 fighters, 1 cruiser space dock. Good fleet, low infantry. I guess that's fair, representing the fact that Keleres is, a small population compared to the other factions. Also, just a heads up, I don't actually know that this is pronounced Keleres. That's just how I say it. Okay. Sir, I need to cough. All right. Faction reference card. So I guess we don't need to go through this. This is just easy reference notes. That looks pretty neat. I actually have a game coming up this Saturday, and I have a 3D printer, and I've been printing off factions. I was going to play the Ghosts of Creus because I made a Ghosts of Creus fleet. I don't have any of the parts around me to show you, but I'm working on an Empyrean one because I have a friend that's coming that he wants to play Empyrean. And I just found, I printed off some ships and I'm starting to paint them so he can use these custom fleets. But I'm going to try to make something I'm going to see if they'll let me play the Keleres. I got to get this printed off. Anyway, so that is the news as I've seen it. The rest of the Codex you can just find. This was the part I was really excited about. I don't want to go through the whole Codex. So have a great